Well, Ebru TV Primetime News begins right now on this 18th day of December 2019. Thank you very much for making time for us. My name is Winnie Lubembe. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Joyce Wairemo. Now, a total of 1,309 candidates who sat the KCSE examination 2019 will not receive their results due to involvement in various forms of cheating. Of the 1,309, 1,158 are said to have engaged in collusion in a bid to cheat in the exam. 101 found with unauthorized materials in the exam room, while 47 were found with mobile phones. Our reporter Milia Kisianya kickstarts our bulletin tonight.
Following the approval of the results on Monday this week by the NEC board, after the completion of the marking exercise, CS George Magoha has today unveiled the much-expected results. Magoha confirmed that the results had improved across the 74 subjects, with sciences marking good performance.
I particularly wish to mention English, Kiswahili, chemistry, biology, and physics as some of the critical subjects where performance significantly increased this year. The
education boss also pointed out exemplary performance from the KCSE candidates who recorded poor marks in KCPE results.
These are our heroes, and this is the President's wish that we celebrate them. The first one is called Kinywa Milka Wanjiro. Kinywa Milka Wanjiro got a paltry 179 at KCPE and went to Gadara Secondary School, it's a sub-county school, and she has scored a B-.
This year, 10 schools produced top best students with grade A. Kenya High School was the best school with a total of 76 A's, closely followed by Kapsabet High School with 49 A's. Few cases of malpractices were reported during this year's KCSE exams. This year, a total of 1,900 students were reported to have engaged in cheating as compared to 4,500 cases recorded last year. And onto this, 1,309 students had their results cancelled. A rise of the number of students who have scored grade A has risen to 627 from 315 of last year. This, according to the Ministry of Education, is a mark or a start of an improved education system. Milia Kisianya for Ebru TV.
All right, thank you very much, Milia Kisianya. Now, still sticking on the same, the announcement of the 2019 KCSE results triggered a wave of reactions and celebrations by candidates and schools which excelled in the test. One such school is the Kenya High, which scored a double win. Take a look.
As soon as Education CS George Magoha wound up his speech in releasing the 2019 KCPE result, celebrations erupted countrywide by sections of schools which produced good results. Among such schools is the Kenya High School, which emerged tops countrywide. Besides that, the school also produced the top female student, Baraza Miriam Jerry.
These results are just I can't explain it. I'm so happy because I did not expect this, but God has made us proud. God has answered all our prayers.
I didn't expect this because all through school I've never been at the top of anything, but I always had faith in God, and God has just done great things.
Parents, teachers, staff, and even some students taking time off from their holidays to come and celebrate the excellence.
We have all worked together very cooperatively, and we have also taught students the value of ethics, integrity, and discipline. And we believe for students to perform well, they need those three pillars of integrity, ethics, and discipline, because we believe strongly here that performance, excellent performance, matches together with the discipline and the hard work.
And two, to encourage the girls that they trust in themselves and trust in the school and trust in working hard. Yes, and we are ready to deliver.
They say they are reaping the fruits of hard work, determination, dedication, and commitment. The result continues to draw mixed reactions, as while Education CS says this is the best result in 3 years, a massive 83% of the nearly 700,000 candidates who sat for the test failed to attain the C+ in order to be accepted to public universities. This year, the result came out early compared to last year, which came out on December 21st.
All right, hearty congratulations to all the KCSE students. And a total of 627 students scored A-plane during this year's KCSE examination, up from 315 last year. Education Cabinet Secretary George Magoha has said this is a big increase from last year, as Eric Munene now tells us.
2019 has seen a 50% rise in the increasingly elusive A grade. The best student was Tony Waboko from Kapsabet High School, who scored an A-plane of 87.159 points, followed by Njeri Baraza of Kenya High School, who scored an A of 87.087 points. Kaboge Odhiambo from Kapsabet High School got an A of 87.080 points, Anthony Owor getting an A of 87 points, while Natasha Wawera of Kenya High School getting an A of 86.9 points. Other students with A-plane include Longali Chemangat with 86 points, Ndathi Njoki with 86 points, Eileen Chelangat with 86 as well, Laura Ruto 86 points, and Ezra Kizito with the same 86 points. Students with A- were 5,796 from 3,318 in 2018. A total of 125,746 students got C+ this year, compared to a total of 96,377 students in 2018. A total of 699,745 students sat for this year's examinations, which were concluded on November 27th. The examination was done in 10,287 centers across the country, with a total of 21 cases of examination malpractices being reported and 90 mobile phones being confiscated from candidates during the examination.
All right, and once again, for those parents or students who have not received their exam results yet, remember you can actually receive the results by sending an SMS with the index number to the number 20076. Of course, you'll be able to get your results. And once again, hearty congratulations to all the students who sat for the 2019 KCSE examinations. Now, away from that, in a bid to ease the shortage of teachers in public secondary schools across the country, the government is set to post 10,000 new intern teachers come January 2020. Teachers Service Commission CEO Nancy Macharia has also affirmed that all the students who did their KCPE exams in 2019 will have space in secondary schools. Take a look.
In November this year, TSC CEO Nancy Macharia announced that 1.2 billion shillings was set aside for the recruitment of 10,000 teachers. However, there were reservations from NAT Secretary General Wilson Sosion, who said there were no proper consultations on recruitment of interns, as the policy was developed only by the TSC. Nonetheless, Macharia indicated that the interns would only be what is available due to budgetary constraints. During the release of the KCSE results earlier today, the TSC CEO said the trainee teachers will be in school by January 2020, which will ease the shortage in public secondary schools countrywide.
This is in line with the government initiative of a 100% transition. This will also obviously go hand in hand with the routine teacher replacements for those leaving due to natural attrition, just to ensure that students get teachers whenever they need them.
According to the Commission, 102,918 trained teachers without jobs applied for the 10,300 internship positions, with 97,736 applying to teach in secondary schools and 5,182 in primary schools. Macharia has further indicated that all students who sat for their KCPE examinations this year will have space in secondary schools. She also further lauded teachers who took part in this year's exam process. No cases of indiscipline were reported.
These teachers made up the bulk of the personnel that was overseeing the exams. These are our center managers, some of whom I'm very proud to see here today, class teachers, supervisors, and invigilators. you can be sure that the Commission doesn't take you for granted.
Private school proprietors have been asked to desist from employing unregistered teachers. Macharia said that the majority of irregularity cases being reported are emerging from private schools. She has further asked the Ministry of Education to take firm action against private school proprietors who will be found to have taken part in irregularities and employed unregistered teachers. A total of 699,745 students sat for this year's examinations, which were concluded on November 27th, with a 14-day marking process starting on November 28th and concluded on December 12th. Diana Rachel Mbogwa, Ebru TV.
All right, and away from matters education, the national government now says some county governors are to blame for the delay in the clearance of pending bills, mostly owed to SMEs. Speaking just days after the High Court ordered the government to disburse funds meant for counties, Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i pointed out an accusing finger at some governors over what he says is playing politics at the behest of SMEs.
In a move that could now escalate friction between the national and county governments, Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i now says the government might resort to using force to have the county governments clear their pending bill. Already, Senator Kipchumba Murkomen has come out to defend the county heads over the unpaid pending bills.
Some of the people who are owed bills are people who supplied, eggs, sand, building materials to county governments. And some of them did that even 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and they have not been paid. There is no justification why these bills should not be paid. And the excuse certainly should not be that the national government is not providing resources. We have all the resources, and the people in charge of that are here and they have confirmed we have all the resources.
Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i said the government has already released the money to the counties to pay the bills. The CS further added that some governors have refused to pay and have instead resorted to excuses.
The excuses being given, and I'm saying this advisedly, the excuses that are being given here are just that, they're excuses. Some county governments, some governors don't want to pay bills because they were incurred when their predecessors were in office. And so they are playing politics with the lives of the SMEs. And they would rather buy vehicles or run motorcades instead of paying the SMEs who are owed very little money, 100,000.
The CS said the committee has resolved to recommend to the cabinet to employ all legal mechanisms to compel the governors to pay their bills.
The national government is not providing resources. We have money, we have all the resources, we have no issues. Today we have decided to make a very strong recommendation to the full cabinet that we will use all lawful means to ensure that these county governments pay their bills. We will use all lawful means to make sure that these bills are paid. It is not fair.
Already 12 counties have cleared their bills. They are Elgeyo Marakwet, Homa Bay, Kajiado, Kericho, Kilifi, Kwale, Laikipia, Makueni, Nyamira, Nyandarua, Nyeri, Uasin Gishu and Baringo counties. Abdiaziz Hashim, Ebru TV.
And to the troubled Nairobi City County, Nairobi Governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko has moved to court in a bid to block County Assembly Speaker Betty Zalachi from assuming any functions of the governor's office. The governor, through lawyer Harrison Kinyanjui, filed a certificate of urgency, arguing that no vacancy had constitutionally arose in the elected post of Nairobi City County Governor to warrant the Speaker's assumption to the corner office. The governor further argued that at the time the order was made, he was in the process of appointing a deputy governor to help him run the county, only to be cut short by the litigation process. This came hours after Sonko skipped a court session where his lawyers indicated that the governor was not in good health. The case was allegedly postponed to the Voi or at the Voi Law Courts due to the governor's health complications.
Alishikwa na polisi kisha wakati wa mtafaruku huo akaumia na akawa mgonjwa, akapelekwa hospitalini na bado anaendelea na matibabu. Kwa hivyo leo hakuweza kufika kotini kwa kujibu mashtaka, lakini imeamuriwa kwamba tarehe 21 mwezi wa kwanza mwaka ujao atafika kotini na kujibu mashtaka haya. Na pia kabla siku hiyo aweze kufika kwa kituo cha polisi cha Voi, ili mradi kwamba aweze kushughulikiwa, awe tayari kwa kujibu mashtaka, kwa sababu kwa sasa hiyo shughuli haijafanyika kwa mkataba wa polisi, na kanuni ni kwamba lazima apite huko kisha alafu aje kotini. Naam.
And elsewhere, ODM leader Raila Odinga has denied allegations that his party is fronting for a powerful Prime Minister's position ahead of the second phase of the Building Bridges Initiative report. While addressing the media this evening, Raila also took a swipe at Third Way Alliance party leader Ebru Okoth for challenging the BBI task force in court, yet they followed due legal process in its formation. Our reporter Jeff Khaemba with more details on that story.
Just a day after rumors emerged of the ODM party fronting for a powerful Prime Minister position in the second phase of the BBI task force report, Raila Odinga has come out with guns blazing, directing at some leaders in the country for propagating propaganda.
We are in the process of having a national conversation over the report of the BBI team, which are basically recommendations. And those recommendations need to be discussed by Kenyans. So it is not what ODM wants. ODM has not yet formulated its policy. The ODM stand will be made in a memorandum which will be submitted.
Raila Odinga, speaking after visiting Miss White's spa here in Nairobi where he shaved his hair, he said as a party they are ready to give their recommendations in the second phase of the BBI, which President Uhuru Kenyatta extended its tenure until further notice.
What the media is reporting today is we call misreporting. And we know where it is coming from.
Raila Odinga also hit at the Third Way Alliance party leader Ebru Okoth for challenging the BBI in court over claims it is unconstitutional.
Because as you know, they themselves went through the process. They also collected people's signatures. Which constitution did they use? How can they then say that what they did was constitutional and this one is not constitutional? The president is entitled to form a commission to investigate, to look at several issues. That is perfectly lawful. But if it is not lawful, courts will make a determination.
Through his lawyer Elias Mutume, Ebru Okoth wants the High Court to disband the BBI team on grounds that it was formed illegally. But Raila Odinga maintains it is prerogative for the head of state to form any task force.
These figures they're coming out with, they don't know where they're getting those figures. The amount of money spent so far is not a lot of money. Even the referendum itself did not cost more than 2 billion shillings.
In his case, Ebru Okoth insists that BBI has continued to take money from the public coffers to conduct its operations, thus adding heavy financial cost to the common mwananchi, as opposed to Raila Odinga, who says since the inception of the BBI, little money has been spent.
The team has done its work and it's just concluding it. Why do you want to come up with a new team again? But that's why they scare people around. This thing does not need to cost all that amount of money.
Justice John Mative is expected to rule on the 4th of March next year, 2020, on whether to disband BBI or not. A reporter for Ebru TV, I'm Jeff Khaemba.
Into the corridors of justice now, the High Court has declined to issue interim orders to bar the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, that is DCI, to surrender properties of the late Dutch businessman Tob Cohen to any other person. Elsewhere, High Court Judge Ngenya Macharia has barred lawyer George Wajakoya from representing the family of the late Rongo University student Sharon Otieno and her unborn child over claims of conflict of interest. Our reporter Wanjiro Maina with more details on the court roundup.
In an application filed before the High Court under Justice Lydia Achode, Sarah Wairimo, the wife of the late Tob Cohen, is seeking to have DCI directed to provide an undertaking 500 million to cover the potential loss and damage to her matrimonial home.
The property, whether or not as a scene of crime or whatever. So insofar as we and the other court are concerned, we can consider them neutral, as it were. We are only asking, and we were asking ex parte, but now we are here, and pending the hearing of this application, that they remain holding it with a restriction not to hand it over to anybody unless directed by this court, now that we are before you, or that other court.
Sarah says that the money is for the illegal seizure and detention of her property. In the application, Wairimu also wants the court to order that DCI George Kinoti to appear in court personally to render a full account for the property, including providing a full inventory and steps taken to preserve the condition, value of the estate from between 10th September to the date that the property will be surrendered back to her.
We are saying, as we stand here, even pending the hearing of the application, we are apprehensive that they want to hand it over to those they favor. It is in the affidavit. We are saying to preserve the subject matter of this application.
She further wants the Registrar of Births and Deaths to issue a death certificate in respect of Top Cohen, in which the date of death is indicated as unknown.
Yes. If they are, in the meantime, directed to issue the death certificate to the applicant, it will enable the filing for letters of administration proper.
Justice Lydia Achide is expected to commence hearing of the case on the 15th of January next year, 2020. Still in the corridors of justice, lawyer George Wajakoya suffered a major blow after the court barred him from representing Sharon's family in a case in which Governor Obado is charged with the murder of Sharon Otieno.
It could not have been a coincidence that the advocate, that is the counsel, was in the police station for over 5 hours. Then he stumbles on the applicant and on the following day makes an appearance.
Court ruled that Wajakoya has confidential information about the case on Obado, and therefore if he continues to represent the victim's family, then the accused will not be accorded a fair trial.
Counsel's continued appearance in this matter is heavily prejudicial not only to the applicant himself but the entire process of the trial.
Court further noted that the lawyer, together with Obado, had a 5-hour meeting at the police station before he was charged the following day. The Migori County boss said that on September 23, 2018, 2 days after his arrest, the advocate paid him a visit at Gigiri police station and sought his instructions on the murder case.
And elsewhere, public health facilities in areas within Garissa County that have been cut off following recent heavy rains are running out of medical supplies. According to Ijara Member of Parliament Sophia Abdi Noor, who oversaw the airlifting of relief supplies by military choppers, the situation in most of the affected areas they landed in is dire. Sophia has appealed to the national government and other aid agencies to move with speed and restock medical supplies as the risk of waterborne diseases outbreak looms large. The area MP describes the situation so bad. Vehicles cannot go to some of these areas while several commercial vehicles are stuck on the pathetic roads. No supplies are reaching these areas by road. She says, and I quote, "I am appealing to the government and even international community for help. The airlifting of relief food and other non-food items should now include medical supplies," end of quote. Areas hardest hit by the floods are Ijara, Hulugo, Sangailu, Bodai, Galmagala and Liboy. Food items being airlifted include rice, wheat flour, maize flour, sugar, and food supplements for children under 5 years of age. The Kenya Red Cross is supplying non-food items, among them mattresses, utensils, mosquito nets, and blankets. The Ijara legislator commended the military for the intervention but termed the assistance so far rendered a drop in the ocean. Several members of county assemblies from the affected areas, together with the county secretary Abdi Sheikh, came out to oversee the delivery of the items from a temporary warehouse at the Garissa airstrip. The military has already delivered items to 4 locations since the exercise started. Winnie Lubembe for Ebru TV. And Muranga Governor Mwangi wa Iria now wants the Nairobi Water and Sewerage Company and the Ministry of Water to come clean on the use of water from Ndakaini Dam. While on an inspection tour of the dam, Wairia says he does not understand why most parts of Nairobi are not getting water despite the dam which is in his county, having attained its full capacity. The governor, who has been at loggerheads with water PS Joseph Wairagu, also dispelled fears that the dam is likely to break its banks.
That the dam is safe. So the issue of safety is not an issue. And I think it's very important so that we avoid panic around the whole matter. Takaina is safe, and from the technical reports and expertise report, we are being told it's safe and it's intact. It's just spilling through the spillways, the official, the technical spillways, and that is normal for dams. It's not that we expect anything bad to happen. However, we have some fundamental questions. We are holding 70 million liters of water and beyond now, because what is spilling every day is a lot of water, and it will continue spilling so long as the dam will continue being recharged. The question is, and I've been asking this question every time, Mulanga as a community, we are not beneficiaries of this dam. We are now in a situation whereby we are even now throwing away water from the dam. And within that circumstance, the people of Mulanga are not allowed to consume that water. I think this is a fallacy. And this is what I've been talking about every now and then. Because even if then someone doesn't want to give us water, then why can't we then be beneficiaries of the spillways?
All right, time for us to take our first commercial break, but do not go too far. When we come back, we still have lots of stories for you, including the ongoing debate, and that is on U.S. President Donald Trump's impeachment. Stay with us. All right, welcome back to the broadcast. Now, the Modern Coast Company has vowed to refund funds of their clients via M-Pesa. This is after the company's woes continues to be evident, where 90 Modern Coast passengers were stranded at Sultan Hamoud after police impounded 2 Nairobi-bound buses for violating the National Transport and Safety Authority ban. A state of confusion gripped the Modern Coast Bus Company after the National Transport and Safety Authority denied giving the bus company a go-ahead to resume operations.
The company has confirmed that they were served with further communication from the National Transport and Safety Authority Kenya, informing them that the suspension had not been lifted despite their earlier communication, which allowed the company to resume regular services. They assured that they are working round the clock to ensure that they will get back on the road as soon as possible after the company has been reported to have been making losses over the suspension. The company further stated that they will refund their clients their monies through M-Pesa. This comes even as the police intercepted the 2 Modern Coast buses at Sultan Hamoud in Makueni on the Mombasa-Nairobi highway. Makueni County Police Commander Joseph Olenaipeyan said each bus had 45 passengers on board. Passengers who had boarded the Modern Coast buses on Tuesday bore the brunt of the confusion after police detained the vehicles. Modern Coast has posted a letter from NTSA dated December 17th that said 42 buses had been cleared to operate. The NTSA letter listed registration numbers for the 43 buses. However, 3 hours later, NTSA issued a contradicting statement saying, and I quote, "This is to notify members of the public that the suspension of Modern Coast Express has not been lifted," end of quote. However, in a letter to the company, the NTSA had indicated that they were lifting suspension for 43 buses out of the 74 in operation. NTSA suspended the operator's license on December 12 after 2 of their buses collided, killing 7 passengers and leaving 62 others injured. 3 days after Modern Coast suspension notice, NTSA summoned officials from Tamheed Coach Limited over its safety record. Abdiz Hashim, Ebru TV.
And at least 29 families consisting of 150 people have been evacuated from Nyamworoba village, Sensi ward in Kisii County following looming signs of landslide in the area. The residents in the affected 1 square kilometer area have been moved to the nearby Nyamworoba primary and secondary schools in the exercise witnessed by Kisii County Commissioner Stephen Kihara, geologist John Manyara and area MCA Paul Angwenyi.
Geologist John Manyara described the situation as emergency and urged the residents to cooperate in a bid to save their lives and that of their livestock.
Having what we call a landslide in its initial phase. Already we have a fault line, as you can see where I'm standing here. This is already a fault line. And this fault plane, actually fault area, is covering an area of 1 kilometer square.
He noted that the land had sunk 2 feet and had started sliding owing the current torrential rains, which have made soils heavy and could accelerate the movement.
So far, the land has sunk for 2 feet. It has moved down 2 feet and then it has gone, actually sunk down 2 feet. So it has started slowly sliding the slope. Already, the families that are affected are 29 homes.
County Commissioner Stephen Kihara directed Area Chief and DCC to supervise and ensure smooth evacuation, while the police conduct patrols in the area to safeguard any property left behind.
So it was necessary also to come and have a forum with the affected families to ensure that they can understand what the experts have already explained to us. And after our meeting, we have agreed with the affected families. They are going to ensure they have also been able to move. And with the chief and the DC of the area. And we are lucky we also have the member of the county assembly, so that the arrangement on the movement will be coordinated properly.
MCA Paul Angwenyi lamented the losses experienced by residents in the area that have developed cracks, including houses and food crops.
We are calling upon the national government, because this disaster is beyond even the county government. This disaster is beyond the county government. We are asking the national government, in collaboration with the county government, to address these issues. First is to deal with the humanitarian needs for our people.
One resident, Andrew Nyangene, said it was the second time he was witnessing the looming disaster, his house having sunk in the mud 10 years ago, and his current one having developed cracks, forcing him to move his family to Nakuru.
Beleni hapo, nyumba yangu iliingia chini kabisa. Hata saa hii, tukijimba hapo tutaweza kukuta hiyo nyumba iko hapo chini. Nikahama hapo, nikasonga juu kidogo, nikafikiri nimeenda mahali mzuri. Na hapo pia, nyumba ngine hiyo nilihamia imepasuka. Kwa saa hizi, watu yangu hawaishi hapa, wanaishi Nakuru. Bila mimi naongea hivi. Hapa nyumbani ni mimi peke yangu, mimi niko hapa.
Reporting for Ebru TV, I'm Kaindo Stefano.
Well, across the borders now, in South Sudan since 2004, the United Nations has destroyed over 1 million explosive devices, including landmines and cluster munitions scattered across the country from decades of conflict. The United Nations Mine Action Services says the unexploded ordnance poses a threat to farmers and villagers, but they expect to clear the remaining explosives within 6 years. Sheila Pony reports from Magwa County, South Sudan.
Palamina Eli and her friend Mary Moyoyo Joseph were collecting tall grass near the village a year ago to cover the roof of her home when Joseph stepped on a landmine.
I had no idea there was something there. I only remember a dull sound like dim, and the next thing I knew I was on the ground and in terrible pain.
Mary Joseph is one of more than 3,500 people in South Sudan who have lost limbs or injured by unexploded ordnance since the demining began 15 years ago, and nearly 1,400 have been killed. The United Nations Service, UNMAS, has now reduced the explosive threat down to 27 square kilometers of land across South Sudan. But that represents progress of the 1,800 minefields recorded. There are only 184 left to clear, along with 128 non-cluster mission strikes. But it is time-consuming.
The minimum metal mines have minimum metal in them, which means we have to investigate every single piece of metal as we're clearing the ground. So it's a slow process. The average deminer clears 20 square meters in a day. That's an area 4 meters by 5 meters. Not much bigger than a single room.
Despite the challenge, UNMAS expects to clear all remaining minefields, cluster munition strikes, and battlefields within 6 years by 2026. However, the chairperson of South Sudan's National Mine Action Agency says to accomplish that, villagers need to play a part when they find any suspected explosives.
The mine action business is not only for those who are working in it. It is a collective responsibility for the nationals, citizens have to report whatever they see.
Enemies questions that even after all the known minefields and cluster strike areas and battlefields are cleared in South Sudan, it could take years, even decades, to find and eliminate remnants of yet undiscovered explosive. But every landmine or explosive they destroy means one less possible casualty from this deadly legacy of conflict. Sheila Poni for VOA News, Magui County, South Sudan.
And the U.S. House of Representatives is actually debating on whether to impeach the U.S. president, that is Donald Trump, who has been accused for abuse of power and obstruction of Congress over his dealings with Ukraine. A full House vote will follow, and if they pass as expected, Trump will become the third president in the U.S. history to be impeached. Let's cross over now and listen at what's going on.
The bright light of this constitutional democracy has been dimmed because of his acts. The truth is no longer for all. It is for one man, Donald J. Trump. His truth, his way. We must reject that abuse of power because this is not America. No one is above the law. Alexander Hamilton said impeachment was designed to deal with the misconduct of public men and violation of public trust. The president has violated the trust. We must impeach Donald J. Trump.
Gentleman from Georgia.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. At this time, it's my pleasure to yield a minute and a half to the gentleman from Michigan, Mr. Mitchell.
Gentleman's recognized for a minute and a half.
Today, the House of Representatives votes on 2 articles of impeachment for President Trump. Members and all Americans must recognize that impeachment was intended to be a safety valve, rarely used, only when a president acts in such.
And still on the same, of course, the House Speaker, and that is Nancy Pelosi, said it was tragic and his reckless actions have made impeachment necessary. And of course, from what Nancy is saying is that he gave them no choice. And of course, still on the same, of course, top Republican, that is Doug Collins, followed actually and saying that today is going to be a lot of things. And what is not fair, what is not truth, or what is not about the truth. And of course, if Trump again is impeached in the Democratic-controlled House, the Senate trial will begin in January. But with Republicans in control there, then, of course, the president will probably be acquitted. And, of course, only 2 U.S. presidents have been impeached, and that is Andrew Johnson and Bill Clinton. And, of course, neither of them was removed by the Senate. So, of course, taking another very, very short breather, but we'll be right back with business news. Stay with us. Well, welcome back. Now, national carrier Kenya Airways has joined a list of many other companies that have issued profit warnings for the financial year 2019. KQ, through a statement to the public and shareholders, says it expects a drop in profits